Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Diane Daniels. The Kosciuszko County community is buzzing tonight about a controversy that erupted following a football game prior to the September 11th weekend. School officials in Warsaw confirm a student cheer block section made politically controversial statements. WSBT 22's Veronica Jean Seltzer has more. In his statement about the incident, Warsaw's superintendent says the school had no complaints about student conduct at that September 9th game, either from the Warsaw school community or the opponent, Elkhart Memorial. He says staff is now talking to students about appropriate social media use based on what's happened. And he says Warsaw schools already have several anti-discrimination and anti-harassment policies in place.
Back to you.
All right, thanks, Ed. Well, when the college football rankings came out today, most Irish fans knew what would happen. ND now out of the top 25 in both the AP and the coaches poll. WSBT 22's Adam Darengowski here now with more on where the Irish go from here.
Well, Diane, not far, as Notre Dame's margin was already razor thin after their season opening loss to Texas. Well, last night, the Irish really saw any hope they had of making the final four college football playoff teams fall to the turf. Michigan State had a tough one for the Irish. This is the first time that the Irish have been out of the coaches poll since the end of the 2014 season. And really, it's now essentially impossible for them to get in that college football playoff. So at this point, playing for personal pride. And we'll, of course, hear more about the sloppy play coming up later in sports.
Okay, we'll check in with you then. Thanks, Adam. We've got an update for you now on what police say was a deadly hit-and-run crash in Berrien County early this morning. Police now naming the victim who died. He has been identified as 36-year-old Jason Ransom of Niles. He died following a crash on Scottdale Road near Rocky Weed Road in Royalton Township. The other driver and a passenger in that other car that collided with Ransom ran from the scene. Police tell us tonight, though, the driver who fled has been identified, the case now being turned over to the prosecutor. Investigators say they believe alcohol was a factor. Tonight, Napanee is the stopover for a unique father-daughter duo. They are traveling the nation on old-fashioned high-wheeled bicycles. WSBT 22's Hillary Powell tells us why they're doing it. Now to some news out of LaGrange County. A man there is getting attention at a high-profile art show in Grand Rapids this weekend, and it's mostly because of the art medium he works with. Bob Long is being recognized at the annual art prize competition for paintings made from animal blood. Long says he uses buckets of blood that he salvages from processing meat to create his art. The 49-year-old says that he paints with his fingers, doesn't use brushes. He explains how he got his start. Still ahead for you tonight, a flurry of attacks across the U.S. has police on high alert. Was it terror or wasn't it? Could the attacks be related? We've got some brand new information just coming in that will help answer those questions. Some mixed messages in this week's forecast. Still feels like summer, but fall is what the calendar says, right?
Yeah, and you know, Mother Nature doesn't care. She'll do what she does.
Mother Nature totally doesn't care.
Yeah, it's definitely going to feel like summer for the second half of the week. Let's show you our current action-packed part of the weekend. As far as football goes, this is looking okay at this point. Just really warm for late September.
Summer hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, it sure is.
All right, thanks, Ed. Still ahead tonight, New York City police blow up a pressure cooker device as federal and local agencies look into possible terror attacks in 3 states. And just in tonight, news of possible suspects identified in the state of New York. Just in moments ago, FBI agents have pulled over a car in Brooklyn. They are questioning 5 people inside that vehicle in connection with the investigation of a bombing this weekend in Manhattan. An explosion in the Chelsea neighborhood injured 29 people last night. Then a pressure cooker device was found nearby that location. Police today holding a controlled detonation of that device. An additional 1,000 state troopers and members of the National Guard have now been placed at transit hubs and other points throughout New York City. New York's Mayor Bill de Blasio says there is no evidence explosions in Manhattan and New Jersey are related, but the connection hasn't been ruled out. There were no injuries in the New Jersey blast. That one occurred Saturday morning at a charity run. So far, though, no links to international terror in those cases as well. Meantime, on to Minnesota. The FBI there treating a Minnesota mall stabbing as a potential act of terror. Police say 9 people were injured last night at a mall in St. Cloud. An off-duty officer shot and killed the attacker. ISIS is claiming responsibility, but it's unclear whether the attacker was acting in the name of that terror group. The father of the suspect has identified his son as a 22-year-old college student. That man says police seized photos and other materials from the family's apartment. Federal investigators are going to North Carolina, where a charter bus carrying a South Carolina junior college football team crashed, killing 4 people. Troopers say a front tire blew, sending the bus scraping against a concrete bridge. The bus driver died, along with 2 men who were with the college, plus a 10-year-old child who was on board. That weekend crash southeast of Charlotte also injured 42 other people. Stay with us. Sports is next. We're going to hear from the Fighting Irish after that sloppy loss to Michigan State. And Adam will have highlights from a busy week 2 in the NFL. See all the action from the Colts and Lions coming up next.
And for Notre Dame Nation as they fall pretty much out of contention, but we'll see how it goes from here.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Adam. Stay right here. We're back with your forecast next. All right, thanks, Ed. Thanks for watching. Next news starts at 5 a.m. News anytime on the app.